Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be showing you how you can draw a tree. So I'm going to show you a couple different types of trees. The first one is what I like to call like your basic tree. So what you're going to do is you're going to start off with the trunk. It'll be slightly curved like so. You'll notice that this trunk is going to be the biggest part of your tree. What I like to do next is I like to start dividing everything in half. So you can start dividing it in half like that, and then continue to divide it in half until you have various branches on your trees, or on your tree I should say rather. We only have one so far. And then you can also take it and you can add a couple little branches off the side of it, like this. Keep in mind that when you are adding little pieces, almost always they will be going up or to the side, because if we look, our sun is normally up here, and so obviously they want to be by the sun. And so you can just continue to do that. You can also add branches and, well, just kidding, we are adding branches. You can also add leaves if you would like to. Personally, I like to leave my trees a little bit more bare like this. And you can follow this pretty similarly for if you are painting your tree as well. You would just draw it out first, and then later you could go and you could paint over it. If you wanted to, when you are drawing your tree, if you didn't want to draw the, If you didn't want to draw your leaves on, you could also always paint them on. What I do when I typically paint my leaves on is I would just get a brush that's really dry, dip it in the paint just a little bit, and then I would dab all over here with that paintbrush, and that'll give it a nice textured effect. It's a technique that we call dry brushing. That being said though, you can also just draw them in, completely up to you. But so that's typically how I like to draw in my trees. Obviously mine looks a little drastic right now because I'm doing this in Sharpie. If you wanted to, you can also put a little bit of texture on the side. So for that, what I normally like to do is I normally like to kind of do this almost sort of like a zigzag, where it goes like up, goes down for a little bit, and then continues to go up. And that can sort of create a nice texture for your tree. By no means do you have to do this, it's just something that I personally find to be a little bit helpful, and you would just do that throughout the whole tree. Just in the direction of the branches. And so that's how you can get a start to a tree. You can also add, like, you know how some trees will have knots in them, you can also add a knot in if you want, etc., so on and so forth. If you are trying to do more of like a pine tree, what I like to do is I like to start out with just a straight line like this, and then I just alternate going back and forth like this. It'll be closer together towards the top, and it'll get a little bit bigger the further out it goes down. But you're really going to be focusing on that one side, then the other, then the other, then the other, and that sort of alternating sides. Like I said, it'll get a little bit bigger as it goes down. If you don't like how it looks, you can always fill it in a little bit more. And just go back up and fill it in a little bit. And that should be fine. You can also make it a little bit thicker in the center if you want it to seem like a more full tree. The last tree that I'm going to show you is a birch tree. So for a birch tree, what I like to do is I like to make sure that I have a pretty straight tree. So you can take anything that'll give you a straight line. Doesn't really matter. But birch trees tend to be a little bit straighter. I mean, obviously they'll go out a little bit towards the bottom, but generally speaking, they tend to be a little bit straighter. you can go in and you're just going to put little marks on the side of your tree like that to kind of give it more of that birch effect. And then you can also make small little branches off to the side like this. You can start them in the middle, you can start them a little bit further out, whatever is best for you. And if you don't know what a birch tree is, because I know like some people might not be like tree experts or anything, I mean I'm certainly not one. Those are like the white trees that you typically see in the forest. Another thing you can do if you want to get shakier branches like this, you hold your pen or your pencil at the end, and then it'll naturally give you a sort of shakier branch, unless you have really steady hands, which I do not. And that's kind of how you can make a birch tree. I hope this tutorial helped you guys. Please let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else I can help you with. Have a great rest of your day.